Well, hello, I'm Sensei on Popcorn and Pork Rinds, and I am 43 years old. I'll be 44 next month. Next month? Yeah, next month. And I got into Magic the Gathering in 1993.
Hello, I am Commander After 40, host of Rage Bait, where living is a privilege. I am 41 years old, and I started to play Magic in 1999, back when Kamigawa Neon Dynasty was not a thing, but they had Kamigawa and the three blocks during that time, and that's when I first started getting into it. And then I got back into it back in 2020 or 2019 when Kamigawa Dynasty came out.
Oh, so you took a break. Why did you take a break?
I I broke up with the guy who taught me.
Oh. Oh. Oh, wow. Well, all right then. That makes sense. I got in because of a friend in junior high school, and he was like, "Hey, we're gonna go play this game." I was like, "All right." Got into it. They gave me some cards. Blah blah blah. Rest is history, right? But then I had
Right?
quit, and I forgot when I quit because it was kind of early on. I mean, I played a few years, but I think it was around Visions, maybe. I don't remember, but I'd quit for a long while, and then my wife, my current wife now, one day I was talking to her about Magic the Gathering because it would pop in my brain like once every year or whatever, and then I said, "Hey, this game," and she goes, "Is it like the Harry Potter card game?" And I was like, "Okay, I don't know anything about Harry Potter." So she explained it, and I was like, "Yeah, it's sort of kind of like that." Yeah, and then she said, "Well, if I get back in, she'll learn how to play." And I was like, "All right." So that's how I got back in. And I didn't know anything really about um, planeswalkers. Planeswalkers wasn't a thing, obviously, in 1993, 94. So, but the reason why we're talking about this is because of the current state of Magic and a lot of fallout. A lot of people don't like Universes Beyond. And here we are.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and that's why.
Here we are.
Mm-hmm. That's why I wanted everybody to introduce and say when they got into the game, because it does depend on when you get into the game. A lot of people have gotten into the game because of Final Fantasy and a couple of other universes beyond. So their view is obviously going to be different than somebody that got in during obviously Kamigawa or during my time. So,
Right.
have you been seeing what's going on right now? They did announce Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. So we're starting to see some of
Yep.
that stuff. I'm seeing
Big time.
people are upset about April O'Neil. You know why, but I'm not going to get into it.
Actually, I don't know. I haven't been keeping up with the secret layers. I'm actually one of the people who don't really care too much about secret layers.
It's not a secret layer, it's
But
a full
I'm
on set.
assuming. Oh, see, I'm not even paying attention to that. And to be honest with you, I don't know, but based on what you just said, I'm assuming it's because she is not of a pale complexion.
You said it. You said it. And I got screenshots to back it up. I mean, it's the same thing that happened with Aragorn. Everybody's upset about this fictional character. He's not a real person. He's fictional, and they based it off of their feelings of the movie, right? Now, if you go way back in the Wayback Machine, back in 1979, I do believe Ralph Bashki put out The Hobbit, very old movie, and it is they use rotoscope. I don't know if you know what rotoscope is, but it's a type of animation. And Aragorn looked like he was Native American. Now, mind you, a lot of people were comparing it to the writings in the book, and it was a whole thing. But here we are now, just scrolling the internet, and I saw that they said that Nickelodeon was going to put out something, and it ended up being Ninja Turtles. And then they showed April O'Neil being black. And of course, in the comment section, people are like, "Oh, here we go again." And oh, hello, getting to know Magic.
Oh,
Oh, Well, if you want to introduce yourself and your age and when you got into Magic the Gathering.
Sure thing. Let me just see if my headset's working here.
All good. I'm letting you know we are recording right now. We are hot and live.
Excellent. Well, I am Nathan Mitchell. I am getting to know MTG, and I'm 45 years old. I've been playing since 1995.
Okay. Rage Bait got in during 1999, I believe. And I got in 90.
Yes, I started in my freshman year.
I got in 93, 94 myself, and I'll be 44 next month. So yeah, pretty much we're at the point now where we're talking about the current state of Magic, and of course Universes Beyond, and they announced Nickelodeon had said that they're going to come out with something, and of course it was Ninja Turtles, and of course people are upset about April O'Neil being black, but I'm not going to get into that. It is what it is. But basically, the game has changed drastically since obviously all of us got in the 90s. So, of course, with Josh Lee Kwai saying that, creators need to, I guess, put more effort into their videos. So you have that, and Cassius Marks. And I feel like it's all over the place right now.
It definitely is all over the place. And I got to say, the first Universes Beyond set that actually came out back in the day, Arabian Nights, they did kind of a halfway job on that one. So I think they've definitely come a long way since then. But seriously, I am perfectly fine with Universes Beyond being integrated into the product. I think this coming year is going to be a little heavy on it, but I think that's more a product of the contracts they have with the third parties that they have going, and of course the whole issue where the Aftermath / Assassin's Creed just face planted. Had that been normal, then we would have seen like Spider-Man in the same vein, so it wouldn't have been such a weird set coming out.
Yeah, it was very strange. I'll give Tutor Up Game the floor if you would like to say your name, your age, and when you got into Magic the Gathering. And right now you're muted. We'll give him a moment. Well, while we wait for that, and you had mentioned Arabian Nights, we can even go back to where, all of us, so far, 3 of us got in the 90s. And, they didn't have the 7-band cards. We were playing with, obviously Arabian Nights, where they had Jihad was a card. Gosh, so many from that
Stone
set.
Throwing Devils.
Stone Throwing Devils, yep. Which was from that set. But obviously, Gypsies and everything else was not from Arabian Nights. But Arabian Nights was definitely one of those sets that I guess pushed the boundaries when it came to, I guess, appropriating. So...
Yeah, and I think there was, the idea was you've got the story of 1001 Arabian Nights, and I think at the time you're coming at it from a very, Eurocentric point of view, especially at that point when this is the first expansion ever for Magic the Gathering. So you've really only got the handful of first people who were there. And obviously since then, there have been a large number of more diverse people involved with Magic. So, but yeah, back then there were some things that were, very appropriate for it, and there were some definite missteps. And honestly, at the time, I didn't know Stone Throwing Devils even could be considered a slur. And now finding out about it, yeah, absolutely, that is a slur and should never have been used.
Mm-hmm. Well, there you are. Are you there, Tutor?
Yep. Yes, I am.
Welcome to the panel.
Hey, how's it going, everybody?
Going right.
Rage, you still there?
Yep, I'm still here.
All right.
I'm just looking up. Yeah.
Tutor, if you would like to express your age and when you got into Magic the Gathering.
I am Alan of Tutor Up Games, and I am 38 years old, and I started playing Magic around 1997, 1998. I was about 10 or 11 years old.
Oh, nice. So Rage here got in 1999, and Getting to Know got in, you said 97, I believe? 90. See, I'm having a brain fart. See, we're the oldest ones here. And then I
was 95.
95, and
Fallen
I got in.
Empires.
And I got in during Revised. So, and we're pretty much focusing on the fact of the current state of Magic the Gathering, people being upset about Universes Beyond, and of course there's just a slew of mess. People on Twitter saying that, people that play Commander are pigs and eating slop. And so all of us pretty much have been in the game for a very long time. So we've seen it transition from, no planeswalkers to planeswalkers. Obviously, me and Nathan were talking about Arabian Nights and during that time and what was acceptable, what wasn't. And plus, I never batted an eye at any of those cards. I never really cared about, the background per se. I love the art. I mean, Jazan is one of those cards where I was drawing it all over my boxes. So once you become aware of what these things are and if they're acceptable or not, then you shift. So I strongly believe where we're at right now in Magic the Gathering that there's a massive shift from all of us getting in during the 90s to where we're at now, but also it depends on when you got in. Matter of fact, me and Tutor Up had this conversation a few days ago, and it was a really good conversation, but it does depend on when you got in and how do you feel about it and the transitioning. And it's just, I think for me, I don't mind the Universes Beyond. I love the fact that it's going all over the place. I love Transformers. I'm happy for Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles coming out. I didn't care that they came out with My Little Pony. I think that was the first secret layer, I do believe, was My Little Ponies, which a lot of people don't even know
Yeah,
about.
Either
it
them
was.
or Walking Dead.
My Little Ponies came out before The Walking
It was
Dead.
Demand.
Mhm.
Okay, then
Yeah.
them.
Mm-hmm. So,
I am a My Little Pony fan.
yeah. So where we're at now is it's completely different, but there's a lot of people trying to gatekeep. So, and plus the community, as you've seen, that I'm no longer on TikTok for a billion reasons. But sometimes I go and peek, and of course there's, as I had mentioned before, there's some fallout over April O'Neil looking like this. So I sent Tutor.
Yeah, it was you sent me a screenshot of some comments on a TikTok video, and honestly, it's really sad because when I saw the cards spoiled, I saw April O'Neil, and the first thing that came to my head is that somebody's going to say something about April O'Neil not being white. And lo and behold, I get that screenshot from you. And I'm just like, that's ridiculous.
Yeah,
that is ridiculous. People choose the wrong things so many times, whether it's in Magic the Gathering or not, to be angry about or throw their arms in the air. And it doesn't make any sense to me because, firstly, it's a Magic the Gathering card. I do understand that, it's from Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and I'm not too big in the lore of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I know they have comic books and stuff like that.
Oh, I am.
I couldn't tell you whether or not they've done a depiction of April O'Neil being black in the comics or not. I also am the kind of person who doesn't care for the right reason, right? Because it's not about the color of the person depicted in that picture. That doesn't matter.
And she's not even real. She's
I mean,
a fake
in certain
person. She's not even real.
Yeah, that too. Exactly. Yeah, exactly. Like, and it just baffles me that people want to get mad about things like that, especially given the climate of everything else outside of Magic the Gathering. But that also goes to show that a lot of that stuff that's outside of Magic the Gathering, that I think some people tend to shell themselves away from in their hobby, is, you know, becoming more prevalent and more noticeable, that that kind of behavior and attitude is in the Magic the Gathering community.
Yeah.
And it's definitely something I don't like to see as a Magic the Gathering player, and I love the game of Magic. I've been there, not from the start, but I've been there for a while, and I grew up playing it, and it taught me a lot of different things, not just how to play Magic. It taught me how to be a little more social and stuff like that. So I have a lot that I love behind Magic the Gathering. And I saw it change through that whole thing too. But now it's more like, instead of people complaining about a mechanic changing or a rule changing, they're complaining about the color of a character's skin.
Yeah.
And that just...
Well, here's a fun
right.
one.
It's not okay.
There was a recent banning that happened about a gentleman, I guess, wearing a MAGA hat at a tournament, I do believe. And I kind of forgotten the whole story, but a lot of people said that, you know, this person shouldn't have been banned because of the MAGA hat, but also he's using it to troll. But also there's some other alarming things that happened, I do believe, with this person. But again, with the Magic the Gathering aspect of saying, you know, don't bring politics or religion into the game, while people bring politics and religion into the game. Now, it's kind of hard to not pay attention to a lot of those things, but I think it should be like-minded people that are around other like-minded people that is accepting of everyone. And I think it's gotten to that point of where, like, we're having this panel right now, and, you know, we're talking about the transitioning of Magic the Gathering from the old days to where they're at now, but also we have to address the elephant in the room of not everybody feels welcome, although it is Magic the Gathering. And even myself, I got into the game with a friend. Yeah, he was a friend at the time, but, you know, I've told the story many times. The reason why I played Mono Black is because he said, oh, well, Negroes playing, you know, Mono Black, so play Mono Black. And he built a deck specifically to destroy Mono Black with Northern Paladin. Probably a lot of people don't even know about that card. Northern Paladin, White Knight, and a bunch of other things. But yeah, that's how his deck functioned, and I would just get destroyed by him. But then when I would enter tournaments and actually play other people, I had a fair chance because I'm playing people that are playing like Force of Nature and all those other good old cards, because their decks wasn't specifically built around just locking out Mono Black. But I still accepted it, and I'm still here. It's 2025, and I'm still playing the game. But to watch a lot of people just kind of get distracted from actually enjoying the game and to where it's at now. You know, so much fallout. Like, if you don't like Universes Beyond, why not proxy a card? Okay, prime example. You don't like Universes Beyond, go proxy the card, have the same mechanics, change the art, change the name. Just proxy it. Just proxy it. You know, but people want to gatekeep. Well, okay.
I feel like there's a lot of people want to come in and make this about the Gathering, which is great. And then there's a few people who try to get in under false pretenses, saying, oh yeah, I want to be with people, I want to do this. And then they start dividing people up and doing things that make people uncomfortable because they want the right kind of people, quote unquote, to be a part of it. I mean, I got no problem if someone's wearing a MAGA hat and that's it. They're like, hey, I'm just, you know, an average guy, and I wear this hat, that's who I am. Okay, if that's as far as it goes, great. You know, hey, we can talk, we can play, if, you know, but you start bringing your ideology into playing the game to a point where you're excluding people or targeting people or making it an unfun experience for other people, that's where it becomes a problem.
Rage Bay, you wanna tap in?
Yeah, I'm tapping in.
Mhm.
So another example of this discrimination is we have here a panel of male presenting people, and I am considered a female presenting person. And for me, I had to get into Magic the Gathering through a boyfriend. I was dating a guy who was into Magic the Gathering. I wanted to play. His guy bros were like, "No, you can't play." But of course, luckily my boyfriend at the time was very open-minded. He's like, "Yeah, I'll set you up with a deck." And my first deck was a 60 card blue black deck. And we called it the Bruiser deck because it basically played just like that. It would cause a lot of damage, but it wasn't enough to win the game. So he basically gave me a trounce deck, and I couldn't win to save my soul with it. But later on, though, we broke up, and I had to stop playing, and there was just no one to play with. No one wanted to play with me at that point because I didn't have the proxy man next to me to be like, "Oh yeah, she's cool, we can play." And so it wasn't until Kamigawa came out, Neon Dynasty, that I realized that, hey, I could play by myself now. I can buy my own cards. I can do this all on my own. And don't get me wrong, my husband currently, he plays Magic the Gathering. So I technically, again, by proxy with my husband, I got to get back into the game.
My wife.
And yeah, for women, it's actually, oh yeah.
No, I was just going to say, since my wife has gotten into the game, she's only played one commander deck, like almost all the time, and that's Coma. She's not allowed. She's not allowed here. Yeah.
What is up with people in Coma? They love that snake so much.
Coma. Yeah.
I love that snake so much.
I threw it down a flight of stairs in a video a long time ago. Yeah. I wanted to revisit the MAGA hat thing. So there are people that feel that those are your ideals without saying that because you're wearing this thing, right? So I'll use myself as an example. Is if I say, Black Lives Matter, right? And I go in and there's somebody wearing a MAGA hat, there's going to be some problems. Whether it's going to be me saying something first or them saying something first. But I think truly if it's not about those things, then, do you still represent those things? Or, what's more important, I guess, to the individual at the end of the day? Me, I would love to always be middle ground, but also there's a lot of things that are in place that you're kind of forced into not being middle ground, and a lot of people obviously in other chats and discords and stuff have had these conversations. And of course, when Charlie Kirk, what happened with him, and this is a Magic the Gathering chat group where they're having fallout left and right, about something that she had said, I guess. But this is the Magic the Gathering community, so here we are again, where those things definitely are affecting people in the real world and in the community online. So me, I try to accept everybody, but also I try to talk to everybody too, because I'm very curious. I'm like, okay, why are you wearing that? Or why do you feel this way? Because I do want to know who I'm playing with, because I feel like if you did vote against the betterment of everybody else, then I don't want to play with you. I think that should be everybody's right to sit down at the table and play with people that they feel comfortable with without making a stink, obviously, because it's a game. But again, the current state of Magic is a lot of people are upset about Universes Beyond, where it's bringing in new people because the base is already there, and this is bringing in new people because it's a company and they want your money. So, Spider-Man came out and they said, "Oh, Spider-Man's gonna tank." Well, at the same time, you had Jimmy Kimmel being taken off the air for freedom of speech, who is owned, I think the company's ran by and owned by Disney, which Spider-Man is a Disney company. So you had those things happening at the same time, whether you didn't buy it because you felt that the game was silly because of Spider-Man or because of Jimmy Kimmel and Disney, so on and so forth. it just was a bad time for it to come out. But also, you're coming off the coattails of Final Fantasy, because Final Fantasy did very well. So it made a couple $1 million before it even hit the shelves. But nobody complained about Final Fantasy, although Final Fantasy was a Universes Beyond set. While saying, is Universes Beyond destroying Magic? Come on. Is it destroying Magic? But we love Final Fantasy. Okay.
It's destroying the kind of Magic we want it to be. And by we, I mean those people.
Yeah.
It's like, no, they're swords, they're sorcery, that's good enough. But this one is too far. Like, that's silly.
Like, come on.
Well, another thing is that with the Final Fantasy set, for instance, my brother and his fiance, they are both big Final Fantasy. Like, they have their own fandom. That's how big they are in the Final Fantasy community. And so when that set came out, they went bonkers grabbing every card they could get and saying, oh yeah, this comes from this game set, this comes from this lore and this stuff like that. And I'm looking at them going, that's not what those cards are for, right? And then I think he actually had one of the golden chocobos, right? And he's like, I don't even know why they made this card. And I'm like, slightly going, well, if you don't want it, I'll take it off your hand.
Thank you.
Of course, he kept it because, like I said, he's a Final Fantasy fan. But I'm just saying, like, fandom doesn't understand the lore and the game. And so when they go and collect all of these cards, I don't think the business side of it realizes that that's just a one shot. They just only got that group for one set. They didn't get it for the entire game. And I think that's another reason why people are pissed off about it.
I mean, does Universes Beyond, does it offset the game where, I mean, you had Lord of the Rings came out with the One Ring, which was game changing, across the board, but it was welcome. Lord of the Rings did very well. Yeah. So what I'm getting at is a lot of people that are screaming Universes Beyond is destroying Magic, while they supported Lord of the Rings and they supported Final Fantasy and whatever, other set that came out, just like Secret Layers. Now, me and you had a conversation about Secret Layers where I feel Wizards of the Coast, big foul, because they said that they were going to print those cards again with different art and different names, and they didn't do it. They saw the money and they didn't do it. So we're at that 10-minute mark.
They actually... Oh, okay. So real quick about the Universe Beyond thing, they did, I think, stopped at Secret Lair in Universe Beyond. I think they stopped at the Stranger Things and putting a copy of the card in Universe, and they just haven't done it since. And they were kind of forced to because of probably IP issues with Arena, but they just did it. Through the Omen paths on Arena for Spider-Man. So I don't think there would be. I think it would be wise for Wizards of the Coast to start doing that again and not putting them in like set boosters where they have the list, because I think that was the only way you could get.
They ended the list, right?
In Universe before.
They're not doing the list anymore, right?
Oh yeah, the list is yeah, it's been over for a bit, I think. But yeah, they just need to, even if they call it through the Omen Paths set 1, or through the Omen Paths, Final Fantasy, and then they do Final Fantasy. But on another note, I did want to mention real quick, when it comes to Universe Beyond, I have noticed a little bit that people who have a really strong, who don't like Universe Beyond, or don't like the certain IP that they go into, maybe not just Universe Beyond, they don't like it until they do. You know what I mean? Like, a lot of people can complain about the Final Fantasy set, but I bet they're using a VV if they're playing competitive Magic. You know what I mean? Like,
why wouldn't you?
They don't like it until it's something that they like. Right? Yeah, exactly. So it's brought Universe Beyond has brought a lot of powerful cards that I wouldn't see any reason why they couldn't start printing in-universe versions, which I think would calm down a lot of the hatred towards Universe Beyond.
Anybody want to say anything
And
else?
I think that
Okay.
Yeah, I think that with the Universe Beyond, I think a lot of people conflate the secret layers and the actual sets that are coming out, because the sets that are coming out make sense to be Magic the Gathering sets. Turtles kind of pushing it a little bit, but you can definitely see it. It plays with the themes very well. Obviously, Lord of the Rings, Final Fantasy, Marvel superheroes, they all work in universe. And Star Trek, now that we've seen Edge of Eternities and how that works, we can definitely see that working. If they were making a set for The Office, then we'd know it's jumped the shark, it's gone too far. But having a few cards that are reskinned
From the secret,
that's not so bad.
Yeah. Well, thank you all for showing up. And we can do this again.
Sure thing.
I know it was a little shoddy on the time, but I was trying because I was dealing with other things. But yeah, thank you all. And yeah, be well. And don't forget, it's all about the gathering. I said it. I said the thing.
Yep. Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Yeah, you said the thing.
I said the
You
thing.
Said the thing. It is a true thing.
Mhm.